Ancient lands whisper, volcanoes paint skies with molten fire, and where hidden jungles conceal mysteries older than history itself. Welcome to Guatemala, a country that feels like stepping into another world. Explore Guatemala City, its modern chaos blended with culture, and set the stage for the journey into history and nature. Tease the Mayan ruins, volcanoes, and landscapes to come. Imagine stepping into a land where time seems to blur, where history, legend, and raw nature weave together into something unforgettable. This is Guatemala, a place many have heard of, but few have truly seen in all its glory. A country where ancient civilizations once thrived, where fiery volcanoes still breathe beneath the night sky, and where hidden jungles guard secrets lost to the modern world. If you thought you knew Central America, prepare to see it in a way that will completely change your perspective. This is not just travel. This is stepping into another dimension of culture, adventure, and wonder. Guatemala is a country of contrasts. It's a land where the bustle of modern life collides with traditions that stretch back thousands of years. In the heart of this nation lies its capital, Guatemala City, a sprawling metropolis that introduces you to the rhythm of the country. At first glance, the city feels chaotic, alive with traffic, markets, and voices that echo through its avenues. But beneath that first layer is a cultural richness that reveals itself to anyone willing to pause and look closer. Museums hold treasures of the ancient Maya, from intricate jade masks to stone stelae carved with mysterious glyphs. Street art splashes across concrete walls, speaking to a new generation redefining Guatemala's identity. In every corner, history whispers, reminding you that this is a land built upon layers, ancient, colonial, and modern, all stacked one atop the other. But Guatemala is not a place meant to be confined to its capital. From here, the true adventure begins. Traveling outward, you begin to sense that this country was shaped by forces far older and far more powerful than humankind. The land itself feels alive. Mountains rise like giants, covered in a thick green skin of jungle and cloud forest. Rivers snake through valleys, carving their way to the Caribbean and Pacific. And then there are the volcanoes, more than 30 of them, towering like guardians of the earth, some quiet, some rumbling, some spewing fire into the night. They stand as a reminder that Guatemala is a place forever tied to the primal elements of creation. And yet, it's not just the raw nature that captures you, it's the people. Guatemala is home to over 20 different Mayan ethnic groups, each with its own traditions, language, and way of life. Walk into a highland market, and you'll be overwhelmed by color-woven textiles in reds, blues, and yellows, each one telling a story passed down through generations. Women wear traditional huapiles, embroidered blouses that speak not just of fashion but of identity, heritage, and pride. Every stitch is a thread connecting past to present, culture to survival. It is here, among the people, that Guatemala's magic feels most tangible. You are not just witnessing history, you are standing inside it. The rhythm of life here is different. It's slower in some ways, deeply rooted in community, yet it pulses with energy. In the morning, the smell of tortillas fills the air as women press them fresh on hot griddles. Children laugh in the streets, playing games that their grandparents once played. And as night falls, the distant glow of a volcano lights up the horizon, reminding you that this land is alive, powerful, and eternal. But Guatemala is not only about what you can see in front of you, it's about what lies just beyond, waiting to be discovered. The capital might introduce you to the country's energy, but it's only the gateway. Beyond its streets lie ancient ruins hidden in jungles, volcanic adventures that will test your limits, crystal lakes reflecting the sky like mirrors, and underground rivers that carve secret passageways through limestone caves. This is a land of hidden worlds, each more magical than the last. In this journey, we'll travel from the towering temples of Tikal, where the whispers of the Maya echo through the trees, to the fiery slopes of Pacaya and Fuego, volcanoes that bring you face to face with Earth's raw energy. We'll glide across the tranquil waters of Lake Atitlán, surrounded by villages where Mayan traditions live on. We'll venture deep into Champi, a paradise of turquoise pools hidden from the world. And finally, we'll uncover the spirit of Guatemala and its people, their resilience, and their celebrations of life. Guatemala is not a destination you simply visit. It's an experience that consumes you. Every sight, every sound, every story draws you deeper into its essence. From the chaotic streets of its capital to the serene beauty of its hidden landscapes, Guatemala is a place that will challenge you, inspire you, and leave you forever changed. So as we set out on this cinematic journey, prepare to see Guatemala like you've never seen it before. A land of lost cities, of fire and water, of culture and mystery. A land that feels less like a country and more like a living legend. This is Guatemala, and its story is only just beginning. Full cinematic dive into Tikal, the lost Mayan city. Describe the towering pyramids, the soundscape of howler monkeys, and the sunrise over Temple 4. Blend mystery, history, and cinematic wonder. Imagine walking into a forest so dense that sunlight struggles to break through, where every rustle of leaves feels like the breath of something ancient watching you. And then, rising out of the green canopy, a giant pyramid of stone appears silent, commanding, a monument to a civilization that thrived long before our modern world even existed. This is Tikal, one of the greatest Mayan cities ever built, and standing here feels like stepping through a portal into another time. Deep in the northern jungles of Guatemala, Tikal was once the beating heart of the Mayan Empire. Between the 4th and 9th centuries, this city flourished as a center of politics, religion, and astronomy. What remains today are towering temples that pierce the skyline, ball courts where ancient games once played out, and plazas that echo with the whispers of thousands who once called this place home. Walking among these ruins, you don't just see history, you feel it pressing against you, as if the stones themselves remember every story. Temple I, known as the Temple of the Great Jaguar, rises 47 meters high, its steep steps climbing sharply into the sky. At its summit, Mayan kings were buried with treasures, jade masks, and offerings meant to carry them into the afterlife. Across the plaza, Temple II, the Temple of the Masks, faces it, as if in eternal dialogue. The grand plaza between them would have once been filled with dancers, priests, and citizens gathered for ceremonies that blended power, religion, and spectacle. The scale is humbling, and yet, these are just fragments of a city that once stretched over 200 square miles. But the true magic of Tikal is not only in its architecture, it's in its setting. Unlike so many ruins that sit in open deserts or flat plains, Tikal is swallowed by the jungle. Standing atop Temple 4, the tallest structure at over 70 meters, you gaze out at a sea of green. Trees stretch endlessly to the horizon, and above the canopy, just a few other pyramids peek out, like islands rising from an ocean of forest. As dawn breaks, mist coils through the trees, and the cries of howler monkeys echo like primal drums. It's one of the most unforgettable sunrises on Earth, watching the jungle come alive around ancient stone. The Mayans who built Tikal were master astronomers. The placement of temples wasn't random. It aligned with the stars, the sun, and the cycles of the heavens. Imagine the precision it took to build structures that marked equinoxes and solstices with perfect accuracy. To the Maya, the sky wasn't just a backdrop. It was a map of gods and time itself. Tikal was their observatory, their calendar, and their sacred city all in one. And yet, for all its grandeur, Tikal carries a haunting silence. By the year 900, the city was abandoned. Its once thriving plazas were overtaken by jungle, its temples swallowed by roots and vines. Why did such a powerful civilization vanish? Theories range from drought to war, from political collapse to environmental strain. But no one truly knows. Walking here, you can't help but feel the mystery, the sense that the forest hides answers we may never fully uncover. Exploring Tikal today is more than sightseeing. It's an adventure of the senses. You hear the eerie calls of toucans flying overhead, the guttural roars of howler monkeys that sound more like lions than primates. You smell the damp earth of the jungle, rich with life. You touch the cool stone of temples carved over 1,000 years ago. And when you close your eyes, you can almost hear the footsteps of priests ascending the stairs, the chants of ceremonies drifting into the air, the pulse of a city that once rivaled the great civilizations of the world. But Tikal is not just about the past, it's about connection. The Maya are not gone. Their descendants still live across Guatemala, preserving languages, traditions, and beliefs. To them, these ruins are not dead, they are sacred, living reminders of resilience and continuity. Visiting Tikal is not simply walking through abandoned stone. It is entering a sacred space, one where the ancient and the present still meet. As the sun sets, shadows stretch across the temples, and the jungle once again begins to reclaim its dominion. You leave with the sense that you've touched something eternal, a civilization that rose, thrived, and fell, yet still whispers in the heart of the forest. Tikal is not just a ruin. It is a testament to human brilliance, mystery, and the inexorable power of nature to endure. And yet, Tikal is only the beginning of Guatemala's wonders. If the ruins remind us of the past, then the country's volcanoes remind us of the Earth's untamed present. In the next part of our journey, we move from ancient stone to living fire. As we stand on the edge of Guatemala's volcanoes, places where earth and sky collide in raw, breathtaking power. Explore Guatemala's volcanoes, Pacaya, Fuego, and Acatenango. Bring the adrenaline of hikes, lava rivers, and eruptions. Paint visuals of glowing lava at night, trekkers camping above the clouds, and the raw energy of Earth. Imagine standing at the edge of the Earth, where the ground rumbles beneath your feet, and the air carries the scent of ash and fire. In the darkness, the horizon suddenly erupts into a burst of molten light lava, shooting into the night sky like fireworks forged by the planet itself. This is Guatemala, a land not only shaped by history, but carved by fire. With over 30 volcanoes, 3 of them active, Guatemala is one of the most volcanically alive regions on Earth. And here, fire is not just destruction, it is creation, energy, and an unforgettable adventure. One of the most thrilling experiences is climbing Pacaya, one of Guatemala's most active volcanoes. Just a short distance from Antigua, Pacaya feels almost otherworldly. The trek begins through lush forests, where birdsong filters through the trees, and then suddenly, the greenery falls away, revealing a landscape of black volcanic rock. You walk across hardened lava fields, jagged and sharp, the remnants of eruptions that reshape the earth beneath your feet. Steam rises from fissures, and if you reach out, you can feel the warmth of the ground, a reminder that fire still flows below. Adventurers here roast marshmallows over cracks in the lava, a surreal experience that blends danger and delight in the same moment. And when night falls, the volcano glows faintly in the distance, a living reminder that the earth never truly rests. But Pacaya is just an introduction. The true test of spirit and endurance lies in climbing Acatenango, a dormant volcano that offers front-row seats to one of the most dramatic shows on Earth. Volcán de Fuego, known as the Volcano of Fire. Fuego is one of the most active volcanoes in the world. From the summit of Acatenango, you camp above the clouds, the world below lost in mist, and across the ridge, you witness eruptions that shake the night. Imagine sitting by a campfire at midnight, the stars blazing above, when suddenly Fuego explodes, lava fountains shooting skyward, glowing rivers streaming down its slopes, the boom of the eruption echoing like thunder in your chest. It is awe, it is terror, and it is beauty, all at once. For many travelers, This is the single most unforgettable moment of their journey to Guatemala. The landscapes shaped by these volcanoes are just as stunning as the eruptions themselves. Fertile volcanic soil gives rise to some of the richest farmland in the region. This is where Guatemala's world-famous coffee is grown, nourished by ash and minerals that create beans of incredible flavor and depth. As you sip a cup of Guatemalan coffee in the cool morning air, it's humbling to realize that this smooth richness comes from the same fiery forces that light up the night sky. And yet, volcanoes here are not just natural wonders, they are spiritual ones. For centuries, indigenous Mayan communities have viewed these towering giants as sacred. They are seen as guardians, embodiments of the gods, and their eruptions as messages from the spiritual world. Ceremonies and offerings are still performed at their bases, blending ancient traditions with the living heartbeat of the earth. To witness a ritual at the foot of a volcano is to glimpse the deep connection between people and land, between survival and reverence. Guatemala's volcanoes are not all fiery destruction. They also create places of peace and tranquility. Crater lakes, formed by ancient eruptions, now shimmer like mirrors, reflecting the sky. Hot springs bubble up from the earth, offering warmth and relaxation in the midst of wild landscapes. These contrasts between danger and beauty, chaos and serenity, are what make Guatemala so magnetic. It is a land where you can hike across fields of ash in the morning and soak in volcanic waters by the evening, each moment reminding you of the raw, unpredictable power of the world beneath your feet. Standing on a volcano in Guatemala, you realize something profound. The earth is alive. It moves, it breathes, it reshapes itself constantly. And here, you are close enough to feel its heartbeat. Watching molten lava cascade into the darkness, you can't help but feel small and yet deeply connected to something greater. It's humbling, exhilarating, and unforgettable. But Guatemala is more than fire. Beyond its volcanoes lies a world shaped by water, a place where mountains cradle shimmering lakes, where reflections of villages and volcanoes blur into endless horizons. And among them, one lake stands above all, a place so breathtaking that travelers call it one of the most beautiful in the world. Our journey continues to the shores of Lake Atitlán, where water and culture meet to create a landscape of pure magic. Cinematic storytelling of Lake Atitlán, its deep volcanic origins, surrounding indigenous villages, markets, traditions, and breathtaking sunrise views. Highlight culture, plus landscape fusion. Imagine a place where the earth split open long ago, where fire gave way to water, and in its place, a lake of impossible beauty was born, surrounded by towering volcanoes, fringed by vibrant villages, and wrapped in ancient traditions. This is Lake Atitlán, a place so breathtaking that it's often called the most beautiful lake in the world. Here, the line between reality and dream begins to blur, and every sunrise feels like the first one ever seen. Lake Atitlán was formed over 80,000 years ago, when a massive volcanic eruption collapsed into itself, creating a vast caldera that slowly filled with water. Today, the lake shimmers like a jewel, stretching over 50 square miles, with its surface reflecting the silhouettes of three volcanoes, San Pedro, Toliman, and the mighty Atitlán. From the moment you arrive, you feel an overwhelming sense of peace, as if nature itself has conspired to create perfection here. But Lake Atitlán is more than scenery. It's a living tapestry of cultures. Around its shores lie more than a dozen villages, each with its own rhythm, personality, and traditions. In Panajachel, often called the gateway to the lake, streets overflow with color. Markets bustle with vendors selling hand-woven textiles, jade jewelry, and wooden crafts. Boats line the docks, waiting to carry travelers across the lake to other villages, each one promising a new world to explore. Cross the shimmering waters, and you might arrive in San Juan La Laguna, a village known for its artistry. Here, women work looms with practiced skill, weaving huipil's traditional Mayan blouses whose designs reflect their heritage. Natural dyes, drawn from plants and minerals, give the fabrics deep, rich colors. Every thread tells a story. Every stitch a connection to ancestors who have lived beside this lake for generations. To walk these streets is to see culture woven not into museums but into daily life. Further along the shore lies Santiago Atitlán, a place of deep spiritual resonance. Here, Catholic traditions intertwine with Mayan beliefs, creating rituals and festivals unlike anywhere else. It is also home to Maximon, a folk saint revered by many locals, a wooden figure draped in scarves, offered cigars, alcohol, and prayers. Visitors witness firsthand how spirituality in Guatemala is not a relic of the past, but a living, evolving force. And then there's San Marcos La Laguna, a village often described as mystical, known as the spiritual heart of the lake. It attracts those seeking yoga, meditation, and holistic healing. Tucked into lush greenery, it's a place where travelers pause, reflect, and reconnect with themselves. At night, under skies lit with stars and the glow of distant volcanoes, the silence feels like a sacred gift. Yet beyond its cultural richness, Lake Atitlán is a playground for adventure. Hike to the summit of Volcán San Pedro for sweeping views that stretch across the lake and into the highlands. Kayak at dawn, when the water is glassy and the volcanoes reflect like paintings on the surface. Or take in the sunrise from Indian Nose, a ridge above San Juan, where the first light of day spills across the mountains, bathing the villages below in gold. It is one of those moments when time itself seems to pause, leaving only silence, color, and awe. Life around the lake is simple yet profound. Fishermen cast their nets from wooden canoes, women wash clothes by the shore, and children splash in the shallows. The air carries the scent of tortillas cooking on open fires, and the laughter of families drifts across the water. It is here that you begin to understand the true magic of Guatemala, not just in its landscapes, but in the lives and traditions that continue to flourish within them. And always, there are the volcanoes. Watching them rise above the lake, you realize how fire and water coexist here, how destruction and beauty are forever linked. Without eruptions, there would be no lake. Without upheaval, no paradise. Lake Atitlán is a reminder that from the Earth's most violent acts can come its most peaceful wonders. As dusk falls, the lake becomes a mirror of the sky. The last light of day lingers on the water, while shadows of volcanoes stretch long and deep. Lights flicker on in the villages, glowing like stars reflected below. In these quiet hours, Lake Atitlán feels eternal, a place where the world slows down and reminds you of what matters most: connection, beauty, and the simple joy of being alive. But Guatemala holds more secrets still. Beyond its serene waters and quiet villages lies a hidden world. Few travelers ever reach caves, canyons, and turquoise pools tucked deep into the jungle. And it is there, in Semukchampi, that our journey continues into one of the most magical hidden paradises on Earth. Cover Semukchampi, turquoise pools hidden in limestone canyons and Lanquin caves, evoke mystery and the feeling of stepping into a secret paradise. Imagine wandering into a world so remote, so hidden within the folds of the jungle, that it feels like the Earth is keeping a secret from the rest of us. A place where turquoise waters carve through limestone valleys, where underground rivers twist through caverns of darkness, and where nature reveals a paradise so surreal, it almost feels like a dream. This is Semukchampi, one of Guatemala's most magical hidden treasures. A place that doesn't just take your breath away, it holds it. Tucked deep into the Alta Verapaz region, far from the main highways and modern cities, Semukchampi is not easy to reach. The journey alone is an adventure, hours of winding roads, river crossings, and jungle trails. But for those who make the effort, the reward is unforgettable. A natural wonder unlike anything else in Central America. At the heart of this wonder lies a 300-meter limestone bridge, beneath which the Cajaban River disappears into underground tunnels. Above the bridge, cascading pools of crystal clear water shimmer in shades of emerald and turquoise, stacked like nature's own infinity pools. From above, Semuk Champi looks like a staircase of jewels set into the jungle. Each pool flows gently into the next, creating a chain of serene lagoons where the water is so clear you can see every fish, every ripple of sand. Swimming here feels like floating in another realm, cool, refreshing water surrounded by dense forest alive with birdsong and the calls of howler monkeys. Sunlight breaks through the canopy in golden beams, turning the pools into glowing emeralds. It is a paradise untouched, a reminder of how beautiful the world can be when it's left in its purest form. But the beauty of Semuk Champi isn't only what you see, it's what lies beneath. While the pools above seem calm and inviting, the river below rages unseen, carving its way through limestone tunnels and caves. Exploring these underground caverns is an adventure in itself. With only a candle in hand, you wade into darkness, the flickering light revealing stalactites dripping from above, shadows dancing on the walls. At times you swim through black waters, one hand clutching your candle, the other guiding you forward. It's disorienting, humbling, and thrilling all at once. And when you emerge back into the light, you carry with you the memory of stepping into the Earth's hidden heart. For the Kiachi Maya, the indigenous people of this region, Semuk Champi holds spiritual significance. Its name means where the river hides beneath the earth. To them, it is not simply a place of beauty, but one of mystery and reverence. Standing on the lookout point high above, gazing down at the pools stretching through the jungle, it's easy to understand why. The view is otherworldly, an endless sea of green forest pierced by a ribbon of turquoise, a sight so striking it feels painted by the hands of gods. Life around Semuk Champi is simple, shaped by the rhythms of nature. Small villages nearby live much as they have for generations, farming the fertile land, raising families, and carrying traditions forward. Travelers who come here often stay in rustic lodges, falling asleep to the sound of rushing rivers and waking to mist rising from the forest. The experience is not about luxury, it's about immersion, about stepping away from the noise of modern life and rediscovering a deeper connection with the natural world. And yet, what makes Semuk Champi so powerful is not just its beauty, but its contrast. Above, the pools are tranquil, shimmering in the sun like glass. Below, the river surges with untamed force, carving its way through rock and darkness. It is as if the earth is showing us two faces at once, peace and power, serenity and strength. This duality is the essence of Guatemala itself, a land where beauty and intensity coexist in perfect harmony. For those who seek adventure, Semuk Champi delivers. Hike the steep trails to the El Mirador viewpoint, where the jungle opens to reveal one of the most iconic views in the country. Explore the caves of Lanquin, where bats swirl from the entrances at dusk in clouds that darken the sky, or simply float in the pools, staring up at the forest canopy, letting the world fade away. Here, time slows. Here, you are reminded of the power of nature, not only to thrill, but to heal. As the day ends, the pools reflect the colors of the setting sun, shifting from turquoise to gold, from emerald to deep blue. The jungle hums with life, cicadas and frogs joining in an endless chorus. And as night falls, the stars emerge, mirrored faintly in the still waters below. Semuk Champi is not just a destination, it's an experience that lingers long after you leave, a memory etched in light, water, and stone. But Guatemala is a land of contrasts, and while its jungles hold secret paradises, its cities tell stories of resilience, culture, and history. Our journey continues to Antigua, a colonial gem cradled by volcanoes, where cobblestone streets and pastel facades whisper of centuries past. From hidden worlds to timeless cities, Guatemala's story only deepens. Wrap-up cinematic journey. Glistening Antigua streets, Mayan traditions, colorful textiles, bustling markets, and the spirit of Guatemala's people. And with a strong, emotional close that leaves viewers inspired to visit. Imagine stepping into a city where every street feels like a painting, where the air is scented with fresh coffee and incense, and where the walls of centuries-old buildings glow in shades of pastel yellow, rose, and blue. This is not a place lost to time. It is Antigua, Guatemala, one of the most enchanting cities in Central America, and the perfect ending to our journey through this remarkable land. Antigua is more than just a city, it is a living museum. Once the capital of Guatemala during the Spanish colonial era, it was destroyed multiple times by earthquakes, yet it always rose again. Walking its cobblestone streets, you see the resilience of a city that refused to vanish. Ruined cathedrals stand beside restored churches, their crumbling arches and moss-covered stones telling stories of both devastation and endurance. Each plaza, each courtyard, whispers of a past that is still alive in the present. At the heart of Antigua lies the Park Central, a gathering place where history and daily life intertwine. Locals sit beneath the shade of trees, vendors sell traditional textiles and handmade crafts, and the sound of water trickles from the iconic central fountain. Around it, colonial-era buildings frame the square, the Gran Palacio de los Capitanes Generales, the Cathedral of San Jose, and arcaded walkways that glow warmly in the late afternoon light. From here, the city radiates outward, every street offering another discovery. But Antigua is not just about architecture, it's about atmosphere. This is a city cradled by giants, the volcanoes, Agua, Acatenango, and Fuego, towering protectively on the horizon. On some days, Fuego shows its fiery heart, sending plumes of ash and smoke into the sky, a dramatic reminder that this land is alive, that the earth beneath Antigua is still shaping its story. For those who dare, climbing Acatenango offers one of the most unforgettable experiences in the world. Standing in the cold night air, above the clouds, as you watch Fuego erupt in glowing bursts of lava against the darkness. It is a sight that humbles the soul. Life in Antigua flows with a rhythm both vibrant and calm. In the mornings, the city wakes slowly. Cafes open their doors, serving some of the world's finest coffee grown on the fertile volcanic slopes nearby. The aroma alone is enough to make you pause, to savor. By midday, the streets come alive with markets, their stalls bursting with color. Woven high heels, hand-carved masks, jade jewelry, and fragrant spices. The sound of marimbas fills the air, blending with the chatter of locals and travelers alike. And then there are the festivals. Antigua is famous for its Semana Santa, Holy Week, when the city transforms into a living canvas. Streets are covered in intricate carpets made of colored sawdust, flowers, and pine needles, designed overnight and destroyed within hours as solemn processions pass over them. It is beauty in its most fleeting form, a reminder of the spiritual heart that beats within this city. Yet, Antigua also embraces the modern. Its colonial walls house boutique hotels, art galleries, and fusion restaurants, where traditional Mayan flavors meet contemporary cuisine. The city has become a hub for travelers, artists, and dreamers, drawn by its charm and its energy. And still, no matter how much changes, Antigua holds on to its soul, timeless, resilient, and captivating. Climb to Cerro de la Cruz, the hill of the cross, and you will see the city from above. A perfect grid of terracotta rooftops, church domes rising among them, all framed by the looming presence of Volcán de Agua. It is a view that feels eternal, a postcard come to life. As the sun sets, the city glows golden, lanterns flicker to life, and the cobblestones shimmer under the soft glow of street lamps. Antigua becomes poetry in stone and light. What makes Antigua unforgettable is not just its beauty, but the way it weaves together all the elements of Guatemala we've explored. The echoes of the Maya, the legacy of Spanish colonialism, the raw power of volcanoes, the resilience of people, and the endless creativity of culture All of it converges here, in one city that feels both ancient and eternal. As our journey through Guatemala draws to a close, Antigua leaves us with a final message: that beauty is not always in perfection, but in survival, in endurance, in the ability to rise again after every fall. Just as the city stands proud after centuries of earthquakes and eruptions, Guatemala itself is a land that continues to astonish, to inspire, and to endure. Standing in the quiet streets at night, with volcanoes silhouetted against the starlit sky, you realize that Guatemala is not simply a place you visit, it is a place that stays with you. Its lost cities, its fiery mountains, its hidden worlds of rivers and caves, and its timeless towns like Antigua weave themselves into your memory, impossible to forget. This is Guatemala, like you've never seen it. A land of magic, of mystery, of contrasts and beauty. A place where every step tells a story, and every story reveals a new wonder. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world. Got a favorite spot in Prague? Drop it in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, safe travels and see you in the next video.